많은 사람들이
Many people aspire
성공하고
to be
싶어 하는데
successful.
실제로
But in
30년 동안
reality, even
공부를
after
하고
studying for
30년 동안
about 30
열심히
years,
일해서
working hard for another 30 years, when they are in their 60s, only 1% of them became successful, 4% live well financially, 15% of them have already passed away, and 10% of them
쉴 때가 되었음에도 불구하고 그날 벌어서
live
그날
paycheck
먹고
to
사는
paycheck.
그런 상황이었고 나머지 70%의
The remaining
사람들은
70%,
일도 없고 돈도 없는 상태에서 노후를 맞이하게
they live in
되더라는
poverty
거예요.
without
이렇게
any
많은
jobs.
사람들이
Many people study hard
열심히
and live
공부하고
diligently
열심히 살려고 하고 잘
despite their
살아보겠다고
efforts and hard
다들 많이
work.
했는데 왜 이렇게 대부분의
Why do most
사람들이
people experience
실패를 하는가?
failure?
그 원인을 봤더니
It was
어떻게
found that it was
성공하는지
because of not
이 성공의
knowing
법칙을
about the
모르고 있더라. 그래서
the law of
나폴레옹
success.
힐이라는 사람이
That's why
이
Napoleon
세상
Hill
사람들에게
determined
자기가 알고 있는 이 성공의
to let
법칙이라는
people
것을
know about the
알려줘야
law
되겠다.
of
그래서
success. So Napoleon Hill,
이 젊은 백악관
who used to be a White
채택을
House
해서
journalist,
그 청년에게
interviewed 500 successful individuals.
성공자들의 표준 모델을 만들게 하고 그 사람들이 가지고
And
있었던
based on what
공통점이
the successful people
무엇이었는가?
said,
모든 성공자들은
he created a stand-up
무엇을 가지고
model.
있었는가? 그런데 그
And he
요건을
found
보니까
something
공부를
interesting.
잘했던
Being
모든
good at
성공자들이
school
다
wasn't
공부를
one of
잘했던 것도
their
아니고
shared
좋은
traits,
집안에서 태어났던 것도
nor
아니고
were they
모두가 다
born in
건강했던
a
것도
good
아니고 모두가
family,
머리가 좋았던 것도
not
아니었는데
everyone not
그들이 가지고 있는
intelligent, not
공통점
very
중에
healthy.
하나는
However, one of their shared
뭔가
traits
자기
was
머릿속에
that they
성공한
envisioned
모습을 머릿속에다가 먼저
their
그려놓더라
successful
하는 거예요.
selves
그래서
in their own
모두는
mind.
자동차에
Ford
물들이
imagined
넘치는
roads
도로를
with a lot of
생각했고
cars running
그다음에
smoothly.
에디슨
As
같은
for
사람은
Edison, he
정말
first visualized a
밤에도
light
불을
bulb
켜는 전구를 먼저
that
머릿속에다가
could illuminate
켜더라
the
하는 거예요.
night.
그것이
And
이제
all of those
밖으로
things became
튀어나와서
a reality.
세상 사람들에게 빛을 밝혀주게 되더라. 그러니까 이 건물이 언제
Let's say
지어졌는지는
there's a
전
two-story
정확하게
house
모르는데
right here.
10년이
It's a
됐다고 하면은
10-year-old
10년
house.
전에는 이
10 years
집이
ago, this house didn't
없었지요.
exist.
그런데 이 집이 어디서
However, we
나왔냐면은
need to
보이지 않는
understand
데서
that
나왔다는
before
거예요. 보이지
this
않는 건
house,
어디냐면은
it was
처음
first created
설계자의
in the
머릿속에
imagination
있을
of
때는
the
보였어요? 안 보였어요? 안
builders.
보였죠. 그런데 그 설계를 하는
But the
사람이
designer
이 집을
visualized
할
it,
건지 5층으로
whether
할
it would
건지
be a 2-story or
여러 가지
5-story
구상을
building.
하다가
Various
결국은
ideas came
머릿속에다가
up
이런
to his
이층집을
mind, and then he would
짓고
choose a
그 머릿속에
2-story
그려진 그
building,
집을
then
도면도
start to
그려서 시공업자한테
design,
주니까 그
and
시공업자가
the construction
집을
workers built the
만들었는데
house.
그 설계자의 머릿속에 있던 그대로
And
이걸
the house,
만들어놨다는 거예요. 그러니까 이
in
건물은 지금
the
보이는
design,
거지만은
became the
실제로
reality.
어디서 나왔냐면은
It only
보이지 않는 데서
existed
나왔다.
from
사람의
those
머릿속에서
invisible
나왔다는 거예요.
minds.
그러면은
It is visible, but it came from invisible mind.
내가 성공한
So it's
모습이
based on
지금
the same principle.
사람들에게는
Your
보이지
successful
않지만은
self may
2년
not
후든
be visible
3년
for
후든
many
5년
people, but
후든
maybe after
내
2 years, 3
성공하는
years, or
모습이
5
다른
years later,
사람들에게서
your successful
보여지려고
self can be
하면은
seen by others
먼저
in reality.
내가
But for
어디에
that, you need
만들어져야
to
되냐면
first
내
create
머릿속에
it
만들어져야
within
된다 하는
yourself.
겁니다.
You have to
그래서
vividly
내
envision
머릿속에
your
나의
future,
성공한 모습이
successful future.
만들어지면은
So once your successful self is formed in
3년,
your
5년
mind,
후에
it can happen
튀어나와서
maybe
다른
in 3 years
사람들이
or
보게
5
된다
years.
하는 거예요. 자, 이
Okay,
성공의 법칙이라는
this
것은
law
자연
of
법칙과
success
같은
is
거고
like the law
행복향이 올라가는
of
거예요.
nature,
그래서
and
이미
like
정해져 있는 거다.
there's a
그리고
right
건강의
direction,
법칙과
and
같이
it is a
이미
fixed concept.
정해진 법칙대로
You have to follow the order to grow them well.
바로 이 정해진
And same for the
법칙대로
successful
가야만이
life.
성공을 할 수가
Follow
있다.
the law
그래서
of success.
농부가 맨
Let's
먼저
say you
무엇을
are
하는가 봤더니
going to grow a
얼마만큼 거둘
something,
것인가
growing
먼저
something as a
머릿속에
farmer,
집어넣더라.
then you need to
그래서
think about
쌀 두
what to
가마를
grow
거둬야 되겠다고
and how
하면은
much to
그
grow
쌀 두
in your
가마가
mind.
먼저
So you need to
농부의 머릿속에
decide,
들어온다 하는 거예요.
like I will grow 2 bags of rice, and you need to have this plan in your mind.
벽실을
And you would know how much seed is needed, how large the field should be. Everything would come to your mind. We call this method management by objectives, MBO. Stands for management by objectives.
이게 바이기 때문에
So, by objective, setting objectives is the first thing for you to do. Someone who has someone may be familiar with MBO, some people who are very familiar with MBO, especially those who used to work for a large company, because they have been given this kind of training, MBO-related training. So the MBO is fundamental principle for many people because they recognize the importance of setting objectives. However, MBO is not limited to companies. Government also applies MBO to their plans. They utilize this approach when setting the annual budget. The goal is to efficiently manage the country's operations. They lay out their plans in a document, undergo a thorough process, and once it's approved by the National Assembly, the budget can be put into action as intended. Just like companies and governments, individuals should also set goals first. However, we often neglect to apply MBO in our life, even though we need the same principle. It's not about managing goals. It's about setting goals before managing. So it means managing. Your goals can be harvesting rice or growing peanuts. It can be anything, but the thing is, you choose your objective first. And based on the objective you chose, identify what you need to do. However, in life, people generally do not do this MBO. If you farm in a predetermined order, most of the time you will succeed, excluding cases of natural disasters. Out of 100 individuals, one might fail to harvest anything, and 3 to 4 may achieve minimal yields. However, the vast majority, around 90% to 95% of farmers, can achieve the desired level of harvest. Create a plan for your life like your harvest plan. By doing so, you will increase your possibility for a successful life. So, by principle, you should have about 90 to 95% of successful people, but in reality, we have only about 1% of people who become really successful. Why is it? So farmers, they follow the law of success and the law of nature, but in our daily life, people don't really follow this law. So you need to draw a picture for your successful future in your mind. You need to have a specific goal. You need to visualize yourself 3 years later, 5 years later. You need to have a very vivid picture for your future self. And without this vivid picture, you would have the same life 3 years later, 5 years later. In the past, success was attainable for those good students. And for those good students are not very successful later on. And one thing is very good news. Here's good news to me. It doesn't really matter if you are a good student or a bad student, because I myself is not a good student. We among our leadership, we don't really have a lot of people who used to be a good student. I don't think so. And to me, if you have no money, you can do this acting business. Without any knowledge, you can do it, because there are atomy experts here, and it's great even if you can't meet them here, and because you can learn from the atomy website. You have a lot of good lectures on our website. So if you have the determination to become successful, even without special ability, without career, without money, if you truly want it for the sake of your loved ones, you can make it. So far, you didn't have any method. You didn't know how. But now you know how. And if you are very passionate about supporting your family members, supporting your loved ones, if you are that passionate, if you have that passion, then you can become very successful. So you are given this opportunity, but some people just say that I would say it'll be good if I can get it for free. That if you have this thought, then you cannot become successful at atomy. And if you have this kind of mindset, for example, I would go for this path. It doesn't really matter if the path is hard to go or not. I have this passion. I will definitely work hard and support my family. And if you don't really have any passion at me, that means you don't really have any sense of love in your mind.
가족도 사랑하지 않고
You don't love your family
않고,
members. You don't love your
남편, 아내도
children.
사랑하지 않고 부모도 사랑하지 않는 거예요.
Your
정말 사랑하는 사람들이 있다고
partner.
하면 나는 정말 내 몸이 부서지더라도 나는 기필코
But
해내고야 말겠다는
You need to
그
think
각오가
that
필요해요.
I will do it
여러분 여기 계시는
for
여성분들
I will do it for
남편들에게
my family.
힘내세요. 그런 얘기 좀 하지 마세요.
Don't tell your husband keep going because he is
지쳐가지고
working very, very hard.
직전인데 거기 다
He's
대고
already keeping going. And if you say keep going,
우리가 있잖아요.
I am here and we are here, then your husband would feel very nervous and tired. Instead of saying keep going, just tell them, no, stop and rest, take a rest. That's what you should say to your husband. Stop and take a rest. Tell him, honey, I discovered Atomy and realized how much you've sacrificed and worked hard 24/7 for our family. I truly appreciate all that you've done for us. You deserve some rest. That's what you should say. Now I will take care of everything because I have found Atomy. I know I can handle anything now. I want to say something to those husbands. You should prioritize making your wife happy. Do not give her any reason to regret meeting you.
You see, many women wouldn't want to marry their husband again in their next life. However, when the same question is asked to husbands, many of them say yes, which their wives don't like. Let's talk about financial matters in your life. You should realize that work is not something you should do until we die. Instead, we should find a work to remove the need for constant work in our lives. You could strive to make a significant income or create a pipeline that generates money. Even when you are not actively working, you can make money. It should be achieved in 3 or 5 years. Just take a look at rich people. They often earn money for a specific period, not their entire lifetime, through work. Making money doesn't have to be excessively difficult. So what you need is the right mindset and a determination to achieve significant financial success within 5 years. Find something you want to do rather than just working. There are so many other things to do. Want to travel, right? If you want to volunteer and help others, go ahead. You could do that. If you want to learn something new, don't hesitate. You could do that too. We need to have a clear picture of how we will succeed. Envision yourself vividly. Some might find it too complicated to think about the kind of life they want to live, but it's normal for people. To have complex thoughts and considerations. 3 aspects make up a person's being. One of 3 aspects is the physical body. So the physical body represents the tangible and visible aspect of a person. And there is the mind. It encompasses soul. There are known to be different, but the mind encompasses them. And the last aspect is our surroundings. Our physical body desires something. It desires health, abundance, and longevity. It desires well-being. And then God created the physical body. He breathed his spirit,
육을 만들었어요. 육을. 흙으로 육을
soul,
만들고
into it,
거기에 하나님의
soul
영을
into
불어넣었어요.
a physical body.
그랬더니
Then it became a living soul. That's how it became a living soul. So the spirit is given by God. God made us to feel conscious. It made us to know the concept of time. That's why we have a desire for eternity.
영원을 사모하는 마음을 주셨다 이렇게 돼 있어요.
We should understand that.
이 시간에 관한
And this concept of time is part of the spirit.
그런데 동물은
But animals don't have soul but have a certain kind of consciousness. They don't have conscious and don't know about the time concept.
자,
Imagine a scenario where a dog from the neighborhood bites a man's leg quite severely. Dogs, unlike humans, cannot feel remorse or say sorry because they lack of soul. They can't. Humans feel guilty no matter how unintelligent they might be. However, even if a dog is exceptionally smart, they don't experience guilt because they lack a soul. They also don't know about the concept of the time. Although they get old and face the end of life, they will not know anything. But human is different. We would think about life. What is life? Oh, my life is almost end. What have I done? What's the next life? How should I face my death? Does next life really exist? We would think a lot. Think about past, think about your future, because we know the concept of the time. It's related to having soul. God made us desire eternity, and eternity is the concept of time. Also, love and other things are part of it. The soul has intellectual desires. It has a desire to know about the unknown world. It includes emotions such as joys and sorrows. That's why we have emotions. And that's why we desire to learn something. We are social beings. We are surrounded by geographical and natural environment. We have a desire to make a positive impact and a longing to contribute to these environments. If we reach the end of our lives without influencing the surrounding environment, we will have regrets. Thinking, I was a useless person, I did nothing valuable, I should have done something valuable, my life is meaningless. That means that these regrets arose from the fact that we have a desire to make a positive impact on others and the natural environment. So when we approach the end of our life, for example, we may donate funds to schools for future generations or make contributions such as leaving behind money for those in need. These actions stem from the desire to contribute. Therefore, we have a longing to contribute to the natural and social environment, which ultimately involve human beings, but possesses the desire to contribute to these aspects. Hence, the person is composed of these four elements, each having its own demands. We must live a life that satisfies this demand. If we fail to live a life that fulfills, it will be the life filled with remorse. Therefore, having a life scenario that balances all three aspects is crucial for living an harmonious life. Envision yourself living in the house where you've been wanting to, yourself having others, yourself living with your kids, yourself driving a car that you wanted, yourself traveling specifically. Create a scenario for the life you want to live.
그 영화를 만들기 위해서
craft a
먼저
life
써야 되는
scenario
것이
that
시나리오다
reflects your
하는 거예요.
dream.
그래서 여러분들에게
I've
이런
bought some
양식을
paper
하나
here.
나눠드릴게요. 누구누구의
It's for you to
인생
write your life scenario.
시나리오 하는 요런 이제 양식을 하나 나눠드릴 건데 이 양식이 어떻게
This
되어
paper is
있냐면
kind of a form of life
이렇게 돼
scenario.
있어요. 가운데 이렇게 동그라미가
It has a
있어요.
big circle on the center,
이렇게 나눠져
and
있고
it's divided
여기에
into
이렇게
sections.
눈금들이 10개씩
You'll find
이렇게
10 marks for sections,
그런데
and there are
여기가
circles.
저렇게 동그라미들이 이렇게 있는데 여기에 있는
And the items should be here.
그러면은
Living
잘
well
산다는 것은
means
의식주를
living
해결함으로
a prosperous
말미암아서
life.
풍요롭게 되는 거죠. 그러면은
It's for the necessity of life, so food and clothing, and then you got the part of the housing to live a prosperous life. You need a good house to live to. Then you could write a house here, and that there could be a car. Everyone has a car, so you could put a car. It could be the one you want to drive one day, and more importantly, you want to live healthy life. Right. And you want to live long. Okay, it's done for this part, and let's move to the love part. It could be family love.
이런 게 들어갈 수가 있겠죠. 그다음에
It could
또
be
봉사라든가
volunteering too.
이런 것들이 들어갈 수가 있고. 그런데
And you will find the squares,
이렇게 쳐져 있는 양식을
which
여러분들에게
are
드릴 건데.
for
자, 주택
you to
문제가
be specific for each category.
내가 살고 싶은 집이 있을 거예요, 아마. 어떤 사람은
You want a house, then how much size you want it to be, how many rooms you want it to have. You are a small family, so you don't want a big house, then write it. You all could have different desire.
생각이 날 거예요. 그러면은
Then you compare the house you want to live, then the house you are living in now, check it. You could write 30% if you are not very satisfied with the place you're living now. If you are living in a house with a half size of what you want to live, then write 30%. You want a big house and now you're living in a big house, then check here. Perfect score of 10. And it's about your current health, about health here. Are you currently providing financial support to your parents? But you are only able to give them 1 out of 10 of what you actually desire to give? And it's for volunteering. You haven't done, like for traveling, you haven't been traveling much. And for kids, for financial status, when you are done, connect them. Connect the dots. You'll see the specifics straight. It is ugly, your life scenario is ugly. To draw the line, the scoring each category, and you can check your current status. I have seen someone who barely created a dot. It is not good. He said it's simple for him to draw. Okay, so to make a good shape like this, we need to score 10 out of 10. And it means your life would not look ugly anymore. Then to score 10, what do you need to do? For a house, big one?
50평. 건강.
For your health,
한 시간은 내가 반드시
you need to work out regularly. Take 2 sachets of Hamohim. You need to write it down.
효도.
Supporting your parents.
어떻게 한다고요? 한 달에
Give them enough money to support.
매월 드리겠다. 또
Trouble with them.
시켜드리겠다. 뭘 세우라 이거예요.
That's what you need to
그다음에
do.
봉사하는 거.
And for volunteering,
내가
you need a specific goal.
한 번이든 두 번이든
You need how many times you will do a year or a month. If you can't afford, maybe you could choose to donate instead. Be specific here too. Make a specific amount you wanted to donate.
매월 기부금을 내겠다. 1년에 3,600만 원은 기부금을
$3,000 a month or a year. Let's say you earn $50,000 a month. You don't want to donate $3,000? Then you don't deserve to earn that much money. Being rich doesn't mean you just have a lot of money. Living a affluent life can involve giving money to people in need. You're not making money just to spend it on yourself. You earn it for others. There is a saying, give to others, be blessed. Everyone knows this. Visualize a good life in your head. It will change your behavior, body, brain, everything. It will completely change you. Let's say you earn $50,000 a month. Do you think you'll change? You want change? Do you think you would still feel lazy to start your morning and hesitate to get out of bed? I don't think so. If you really earn that money, it will motivate you to start your day enthusiastically and go out to work with a strong drive to make even more money. Our body have a very important characteristic of not being able to distinguish between reality and imagination. Imagine that I gave you sweet and sour pomegranate and you have a bite. As you take it and you chew it, then the pomegranate seeds burst and fill your mouth with sweet and tangy juice. Now, what's happening in your mouth? Your mouth must be watering. No? Can you raise your hand? You should go see a doctor. Our body reacts the same way, whether we directly eat the pomegranate or just think about eating it. When you truly believe and visualize yourself living in a large house, your behavior will naturally change. Your facial expressions, attitude, and way of speaking will all reflect the confidence of someone who really believes it. Visualizing yourself driving a luxurious car like the BMW 750 will immerse you in that experience. Your attitude will naturally change. Everyone who does anime business knows it. Their attitude have all changed since starting the business. Their attitude toward potential customers change. When they vividly imagine themselves making $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 a month, clearly visualizing change is undoubtedly effective. However, there are also people who think they cannot earn much money even with anime business, and their attitudes are also reflected in their thoughts. It shows when they interact with customers, and customers want to partner with them. Park Han-gil said it's possible, but it's not. I knew it. I was right. Of course, they can't succeed because they don't believe. They believe that they can't succeed and they envision themselves failing. And I said you could choose who want you be. Start from picturing yourself in your head, in your mind. You will meet the version of yourself that you imagine in the future. Visualize the appearance you desire. We have a second company motto, managing, create the vision. You need to create the vision to create your life. And firmly believe, it's not just believing in what you could see. It's about believing in things that are not even visible. For example, if I tell you, this is a microphone, believe my words, then you might think I'm crazy because you already know it's a microphone. So believing in something means believing it will happen. Even thoughts is not it's different. Firmly believing means that even if your current life is unsatisfying, you believe in yourself living a balanced life by managing your thoughts. Living in a good house, driving a good car, helping people, being respectful, being loved. They should be all in your scenario.
그게 믿음의
You have to firmly believe that.
정말 빛나게
Living your life
살아가는
as you
삶을
imagined,
살아가는 내 모습을 내 머릿속에
do that
정확하게
as clearly as
오늘처럼
possible
그걸 계속
and stick to
발전시켜
envisioning
나간다고
it. And
하면
then 3 to 5 years, I'm sure you will be one of those successful people.
그래서
So create your life scenario like this. There is one more form. Then you should write. You could write something like, I will be a sales master. I will be a diamond master. Write it specifically, when and how much, or I will meet 2 people every day for my business, or I will meet 100 people a day and talk about enemy. Set the goal as specific as possible and set team goals too. Set specific goals for a certain activity, and that's how you set your life's goals. Thank you for your time today. It's all for today. Thank you.
애터미는 처음부터
Atomy began with sharing the gospel. I'm working on Atomy not for survival, just like how Jesus washed for your feet. I am here to wash the feet of others to share the gospel. All problems within the business will disappear. Even if you succeed in Atomy, even if you are the founder of Atomy, it is impossible to be freed from time. Through this revival, we can receive the eternal freedom, be money rich, friend rich, and also time rich. I hope you experience the miracle of receiving eternal life in Atomy, become an imperial master, and let us meet at the top of this world, be born again through the love of Jesus, and let us meet in heaven.
네, 여러분 영혼을 소중히